Hey, let's get right into it because I know this is a college show and this was technically an NFL move, but it was an NFL move to get a college quarterback, most likely. Ladies, in breaking news, the Chicago Bears, trade the number one pick to the Panthers for DJ Moore and multiple picks. Alex, first I'm going to ask you, was this a good move?
This was a great move for the Bears, as far as I'm concerned. You get an absolute weapon for Justin Fields and DJ Moore. I think he's extremely underrated. I know we had an opinion on the show last night that he's overrated. I couldn't disagree more with that. And you get the Bears. If you're going to finish off this rebuild quick, you need picks, and to get 961, the first rounder next year, and a second in 2025 means you have multiple picks for multiple years. I absolutely love the move for the Bears. This was a great decision by Ryan Poles. And Carolina, you get to go choose the player you feel is the best at the most important position in the game. So it's realistically a win-win for both sides.
Oh, absolutely. And hey, look, we've seen kind of the rebuild in Carolina, and it was great for what Steve Wilkes was able to do with that kind of talent. But with this move, it definitely makes you kind of wonder, like, okay, what are they going to do? Because obviously, you move up to number one, the consensus, you're getting a quarterback. Everybody knows. The other side to this, and I'm going to go back to that in a minute, but the other side to this is, you have Brian Burns on defense. You have a pretty stout defense. Is there a chance that they take a chance on getting Will Anderson and Jalen Carter and just keep, building up that defense and maybe let like a free agent quarterback or a Matt Corral do his thing for the Panthers?
If you feel confident at all in Matt Corral, like if you're certain that he can do something for you, then that's a consideration. I will say, with all the stuff that happened with Jalen Carter last week, if you look at mock drafts now, there's a chance he's there at 9. Will Anderson, I haven't seen make it down that far, but you still have a Miles Murphy, a Tyree Wilson, a very good edge rusher you could get there. To me, this was absolutely quarterback. This is, you don't give up that much, including DJ Moore, who the Bears obviously coveted. That's the reason they didn't trade back twice. That's the reason they just went and got this trade, was because they wanted more. I think this has got to be quarterback.
Yeah, I'm pretty much with you. More, they wanted more and they got more. Absolutely. Our offense is now 25 years or younger.
Which is dangerous.
Exactly. Fields, Moore, Mooney, Claypool, Kmet, and Herbert. I mean, woof. Come on now.
You've got the majority of that offense locked up for a few years.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Those guys are going to grow together, gel together. The Bears are not going to roll over. They're going to be a dangerous team as early as this season.
Ooh, I know this hits kind of home, but that division race in the NFC North is looking kind of hot. It's heating up, man.
We'll see what happens with the normal 2 top dogs. It could realistically be Bears-Lions this year for the division.
Very true. Very true. We've heard the rumors about a certain quarterback that likes to go in bunkers, potentially going to be with the Jets. They are trying to finalize that. Then obviously Adam Thielen leaving Kirk Cousins potentially.
They tore down their already brutal secondary, and it sounds like Harrison Smith is on his way out as well.
I heard that.
Who knows what's going on with Zadarius Smith? He asked for his release and then said goodbye to the fans, and then they're like, "We're not releasing you." So who knows what's going on there? Man. That division is up for grabs this year for all 4 teams.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So hey, definitely cannot wait to see what goes on there. But look, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, this is a college show, so we have to address the question I asked before. Panthers have that pick. We know, and we're going to talk about top 5 quarterbacks coming out. Obviously, you got a Bryce Young, you got a CJ Stroud, and a Will Levis. Where do you think they go? Or I know you've talked about the combine extensively, but you can't deny the athletic ability of an Anthony Richardson. So the Carolina Panthers, somebody who just had and re-signed a couple years ago, Cam Newton, do they go in that direction, or do they go with the can't miss, Stroud or Bryce Young?
To me, you got to look at the kind of quarterbacks that Frank Reich has worked with.
Yep.
He's the new head coach. You look back into Philly, he had Wentz, who was fairly mobile with a strong arm, could throw it all over the field. Went and got him back in Indy, but then you had Phillip Rivers, who, same kind of thing, can throw it all over the field. Matt Ryan, exact same thing. This screams C.J. Stroud to me. And it works perfectly because, and yes, this is a Michigan guy talking good about an Ohio State player.
Clip it.
To me, C.J. Stroud at the Combine absolutely separated himself from the rest of the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
To me, he was phenomenal in the throwing. He looked amazing on every route. The touch and timing, which with receivers you've never worked with before, is very hard to get down, and he got it quick. It was rolling. And especially seeing some of the other quarterbacks struggle, especially the top ones. Yeah, Stroud absolutely separated himself to me. If I was betting on the first overall pick, it's C.J. Stroud.
Let me go C.J., yeah. And I mean, as we've seen, he came out with a little comment saying, if it wasn't for Michigan, he might have been Heisman past 2 years. And I mean,
he's not necessarily wrong.
Right. You even go back and look at that Michigan game, even though, they got beaten, we saw what the score was, he still put up 300 yards on. You know what I mean? He still
Both
did.
Years.
Right. He did what he could do, but shout out to my guy over here. They got the job done. They needed to, but
yes,
Stroud, I think Stroud has every right to say that. And you look, I got to agree with you. If not for anything else, then he has that typical quarterback size at 6'2", 6'3". Him and Levis are kind of 6'2" and above, that type of thing. And obviously, we're going to get into this in a minute, but Bryce Young, the 5'10", I've heard some, people compare him to the Kyler Murrays, and it's kind of like, does that shoot it down for you? If you're Carolina, I mean, you don't know if you got your line straight yet. Your backfield is kind of iffy. I mean, I like Chuba, but is it totally out on Bryce Young?
I don't think so. I think the fact that he didn't perform at the Combine leaves that open for Bryce Young to come back in because he's got the pro day. If he lights it up at the pro day and Carolina feels confident enough in Bryce Young to go for him, they could absolutely go for him. I don't think Will Levis is out of the race either.
Yeah.
I think Will Levis is absolutely in play here. A lot of people had him going to the Colts. Frank Reich was on the Colts. I think that's an absolute fit there. To me, and you look at the last games they played too. Stroud balled out against Georgia, played very well in a close loss because his kicker couldn't hit a field goal. But Bryce Young also looked really good in the bowl game against Kansas State.
Right.
So both times we saw them on tape last, they looked very good.
Yeah.
And Bryce Young also put out really good tape this year with not really anybody else around him outside of Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yep.
So I give all the credit in the world to Bryce Young. He's an amazing quarterback. It's not even the height that worries me. It's the weight. To be that small and that small a frame.
Right.
Like me, he had to come into the Combine 200 pounds, 210 pounds to be where I was confident enough to take him. If he takes a few of those shots, it could spell trouble. He's not going to be able to run around like he did in college.
Absolutely,
very few guys can.
That 5'10", 204-pound frame, like that. That is definitely worrisome because you've seen bigger quarterbacks take a beating in there. So, hey, we'll definitely see his mobility will help him.
Thanks for watching. If you like that clip, be sure to check out the other great content from the Let's Talk Football community. And as always, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when more great content like this becomes available.